Welcome to Kubernetes SIG Cloud Provider Office Hours for Wednesday, July 15th, 2026. We are governed by the Kubernetes Code of Conduct, which means be kind to each other. And if you would like to participate or speak, feel free to raise hands or put stuff in the chat, and we will call upon you. Kicking things, and then if you'd like to put your name and affiliation in the meeting notes, that link is in the chat as well. See, just looking at who's here, I'm not sure if we're going to have any sub-provider update or sub-project updates at this very moment. So maybe I'll skip those for the moment and just jump right to El Miko, who I think has a few agenda items on the list today.
Yeah, thank you, Bridget. And I guess, do you mind if I share? Just
Oh, please go ahead. That's why I made you co-host.
Yeah, I kind of figured. Okay, so this is covering a topic that we brought up last week, or 2 weeks ago, last meeting. Basically, there's been a change in one of the Kubernetes, configurations here. This node monitor period is being removed and moved into this node lifecycle controller structure instead. And so this is going to, Walter made a note here that this is going to break some of the this is going to break every cloud provider who touches this, or if they have any code that touches on that node monitor period. So we wanted to make sure people were aware of this. We brought it up at the last SIG meeting, but bringing it up again. And as I think Bridget pointed out, Cloud Provider AWS has a nice issue talking about this. And it looks like they filled in a bunch of information around what's happening. So I think like this is probably, if for anyone listening or anyone watching the recording or whatever, this is probably a great way to get involved if we want to open up issues similar to this on the other repositories. If we can determine that there's like a compilation break that's going to happen, if they're using that node monitor period, then I think it's probably good to open these issues. And the SIG owns several cloud providers. I think there's 5 or 6 that we own across the Kubernetes and Kubernetes SIGs organization. So I can't promise that I'll be able to go and open all these, but I think it's an opportunity if people want to help with the effort here. This is like another great way to make a contribution. So yeah, any questions or comments about that topic?
I'm just pointing out that it is effective starting in 1.37. So
Right.
That hasn't been released yet, but it will be soon in August, I believe.
Yeah.
So that will start being relevant to people's interests pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah. Definitely probably in the next 3 weeks or so, according to this, August 5th is when they're going to start publishing those. So as the cloud providers bump to 1.37, they're going to start to hit this. So
so that'll show up in the
one
testing.
Yeah,
that should show up in the testing. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it should show up at the very least, because like these things won't be able to build anymore in it. That'll give us a good signal of like maybe we need to add a little bit more CI if we're not seeing it fail, right? Let's see. Cool. Yeah, Daniel, please do ping. That'd be awesome. Okay, yeah, if there's no other questions or anything, I will move on to the next topic.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next topic is about updating the owner's files. And this is coming up because we ran into a scenario where we're trying to merge a change. Lucas is trying to merge the metrics change that he's making. And we're finding out that because of the directories it's touching, we actually need more people to come in and give their approval on it. So I wanted to kind of show everybody what's going on, and then I don't think this will be very controversial, but I wanted to bring it up here just so that the SIG had a chance, everyone had a chance to look at this and we can all agree, or at least those of us who are here could agree. So the cloud provider directory here is like our sample cloud provider framework, and this is in Kubernetes staging. So this is where the changes need to happen. But I think like if we go into some of these, we're see I didn't realize this. There are owners files in some of the subdirectories, and I think if we look at the names on them, they were probably associated with the people who were, working on this stuff,
Oh, wow. Yeah. Why
five
did
years
we
ago.
drill all the way down there? That's like, yeah,
Well, looking at the names on these gives me a little bit of clue. Like in the node lifecycle one, maybe is not so interesting, but I think looking at this one, the one for the route controller, it seemed like maybe at the time, 5 years ago, we were including some of the SIG networking folks here
yeah,
because
those, yeah,
perhaps they
definitely.
had.
Those are SIG networking for sure.
Right. So I'm guessing that like, okay, yeah, it makes sense that Wojtek and Bowie are on this one, because maybe we'd want them to help review that. What I wanted to do was basically not remove these files, but I think we should just go through and update these files so that we have the current tech leads on all of them, so
Um,
that if we run into a situation, we can merge stuff.
Notice that PR from DIMS from 5 years ago. We should probably make sure that we don't have a script that's still extant that would be offering things that need to be checked in,
Okay.
because that's just kind of, who knows if that's still relevant, but it looks like these changes 5 years ago were generated by a script. So let's just maybe make sure, you know,
Yeah. So we'll have to look what if this
make sure
update.
that's not a process. Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's still a process that would affect this, then if we go and we change these manually, then that process, who knows? I don't
Right. I'm kind of curious, does that file even exist anymore? Like I have a feeling that this probably got yeeted like 3 or 4 years ago or something. But yes, that's a good point though. And I think we should make a note here just because I'll go do the due diligence on this. But uh I wanted to make sure everybody was cool with it, before,
Yeah, so to clarify, I think I'm going to repeat what I think I just heard, which is we should, when we recently, well, in the last couple of years, brought on new tech leads and that sort of thing, we did update a whole bunch of owners' files, but we did not update these owners' files. And we should do an audit of the contents of these owners' files to ensure that they actually are people who would be able to validate and approve a change, because otherwise we're relying on somebody who maybe even isn't involved anymore, which would be a problem.
right. And like and the thing is, the people listed are, some of them are still involved, but
Of course.
it's like, well, like, but like Walter is the only one from the SIG,
Yeah.
Andrew has since moved on to some other stuff. So I think it would probably make sense just to add them back in. And I think we did it at
Yes.
the root, but I don't think we did.
Yes.
I didn't realize there were subdirectory.
Right. I had no idea. Okay, the one other bit of nuance that we should make sure to capture, and I can type this afterwards as well, so you don't have to worry about typing it, but I want to make sure I say it on the recording, which is um, fixing this in like current main is one thing, but if we actually want to be able to have the ability to approve any backports for like any currently extant revs that are getting updates, we also need to backport these changes into the release branches for the last three, because otherwise we'll still, for anything that we need to backport a patch, we would be relying upon the names that can no longer approve.
Yeah,
Um,
that's a great
so
point.
I
We
have
should
run into
probably
this
just,
before.
yeah, I think we should plan.
We'll need to cherry pick it, basically.
Yeah, we should plan to cherry pick it back 3 versions though.
I'll write that down. Yeah.
I guess, does anybody have any objections to what I'm talking about here? Okay, I've not seen any hands going up or chat or anything, so I'll move forward with this. And what I'll do is I'll add the tech leads. I'll go through and add the tech leads. I think there's 4 owners files that live under here, and they might all be in the controllers. Um, I'll add the tech leads, and then we can just go from there.
Awesome. And I should also mention to people that GitHub notifications being what they are, if there's something where you're like, sure wish Bridget would come prove this, don't assume I saw the GitHub notification. Sorry, not
Right,
sorry. Please ping me on Slack if I am
right,
being negligent.
right. I get like 300 emails from GitHub a day, so yeah. That's probably not even that many for some people.
It just, if you're waiting for us to notice a notification, it would be better to ping us. We'll probably see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Ping me on Slack if you need something. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. If there's no questions or comments or objections to that, yeah, we can move on to the next topic there, Bridget.
Awesome. And I added that one because I wanted to give Almika the floor again, but perhaps Daniel as well, and get a chance to talk about, hey, what's going to be in our KubeCon North America SIG Cloud Provider update, assuming it gets accepted, which usually the SIG updates get accepted. But what did we submit?
Yeah, that's a great segue, Bridget. I think last time Daniel came and gave us a really cool demo that was kind of showing the power of Crow in cross cloud scenarios, and was using an AI application or a generative AI application as like kind of the core as the talking piece. And I think it was really good motivator because that's going to be popular with people who come to the talk and whatnot. But from the SIG's perspective, the focus on Crow and how Crow can be used to do this kind of cross cloud activity, I think we kind of agreed at the end that that would be a nice talk to promote. And also, we like getting new people involved in these SIG updates because I think it's wonderful to have just new faces on stage. So unfortunately, there will be some, I guess at this point, regular faces on stage. But I think Daniel is gonna kind of lead us in some ways on the discussion around this Crow application and Crow pipeline that he's showing. And so we found another contributor to Crow, Sitesh is his name, and he has offered to join as well. And then I think Jesse Butler is going to join us again also. And so what we talked through this a little bit, and I think what we're probably going to end up doing is something where Bridget and I will act as kind of the SIG representatives slash hosts, and then what we would like to do is have kind of an interactive type situation where we have some pre-scripted stuff about this Crow workflow that we want to talk through. And ideally Bridget and I will kind of set things up, and then like Daniel and Sitesh and Jesse will talk through the technical details around Crow. And if we do it well, there'll be kind of a nice back and forth where we'll get to inject some kind of maybe a little more a little less Crow centric positions from myself and Bridget, although I shouldn't say that because Bridget knows Crow probably way better than I do. But we'll have that kind of back and forth. And so I think it'll be fun to set it up as like, why the SIG first, a little more about why the SIG adopted Crow and why we like Crow. And then we'll turn it over to Daniel and Sitesh and Jesse to show us like what's so awesome about Crow. So it'll be a little bit of a mix of kind of a discussion and a slide deck that we'll go through. And I'm really hoping, we get the demo in there as well. I think that'll be really cool. So yeah, that's kind of where we came to. I know, did I miss anything there, Bridget, or?
And that sounds great. I would love to hear more from Daniel as well about his perspective on what he thinks he wants to show.
Yeah, no, thank you, Bridget. So I think the punchline is going to be the portability, like the value add that Crow brings to the table compared to the other options that people will have, and how it really makes Kubernetes much more of a very tantalizing platform for in this particular case, the face to the problem is AI workloads, but it could really be anything. Um, Based on our last conversation on Slack, I am trying to see what is the best way to visualize it. So I am working on a plugin for Headlamp, so that we can visualize the crow with as a DAG, the graph, and perhaps even in have like a one dashboard where you can see all clusters. So that kind of also ties in the idea of multi-cluster. Um, and but yeah, maybe it's a terrible idea. Maybe it works. I'll do a couple of different experiments. I'll record them and I'll send them your way, and you give me the yay or nay.
Sounds great. I'm really excited about this. And I would say, like, the one caveat that I've run into in conference talks is the recorded segment of, demo that you show, fantastic. um the audio track that goes with that, usually it's fine to record one and maybe use that if you put it online in a different capacity, but usually it works much better for you to speak live to the stuff on screen, just because that's more engaging for people in the room versus everyone just kind of sitting there while like
Oh,
a
sure.
video plays. So, you know.
Yeah,
No, of course, no. The,
100%.
the, the the recording was just for you guys so that you can watch it asyncly. I mean, in an ideal world, the demo will be live, but I think to Amico's point, we'll also do a recording as a backup plan.
This is my face about conference Wi-Fi. You must have a recording. Like making 100 people sit there going, "Oh no, it didn't load. Oh well, it's timing out." No one
Okay.
likes that. So it can be real, but it has to be real and locked in and ready to show people. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And Walter had an idea to offer as well. Walter.
No, I had put my hand up preemptively because I was about to point out that you needed to record the actual computer bit because you are never going to actually connect to anything during the presentation.
Good to know.
Yeah, and I think so. And then Satish, who isn't here, he's done a bunch of work around monitoring in Crow, and so I think like that'll be another kind of nice thing. Like to what Daniel was just talking about, I love the notion of visualizing it and kind of giving the audience something that they can, like we all love a good demo that's got six like terminal screens open, but yeah, having something visual is a nice way to draw people in. So I think that'll be like a great way to kind of synchronize some of the stories that are being told here, and then ideally, we'll have Jesse there as kind of like as kind of one of the main maintainers. I'm hoping that we can promote a discussion of the three of you getting into some sort of deep technical, kind of talk around Crow. That's kind of my ultimate goal, because I think one of the things that I've noticed from the talks we give is that we get really good responses when we give technical oriented talks that give people kind of enough details that they have something they can crunch on, but also kind of some exciting ideas to take away from the talk. We've done SIG updates in the past, but the best ones, the ones that are always like really full rooms, are when we do something like this and we can really share things that hopefully people will be interested in. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward. I think Daniel, the demo you've come up with is a really good motivator. So yeah.
And I really like your idea, Daniel, of the headlamp plugin as well, because now that headlamp is replacing Kubernetes dashboard, I think that ties Crow in well, and ties RSIG well in with SIG UI and ties in with the broader Kubernetes ecosystem. So that's just smart, I think, because it gives people more things to see and think about that they might not have considered, but are already in there, built in and ready for them.
Yeah, and there is some. I saw like somebody was working on an official plugin for Crow, but it hasn't been no changes in the last 3 months. So I think this could also be like a motivator for, hey, maybe now is the time to have something that is a little bit more official.
I know that because some of the headlamp maintainers are also my colleagues at Microsoft. So I'm well aware that they're always very excited about people PRing in anything for the flexibility and extensibility and, you know, making it easier for you to do what you're trying to do. So if there's something where you're thinking, why is this stalled? It's probably just because nobody worked on it. You could just definitely get it PR'd in yourself and then be like, hi, I wrote this thing for Headlamp. Here I am showing it to you. Like that would be fine.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay. Um, all right. I think we're at the end of our formal agenda. I think maybe Almiko probably wants to pop over and show us issues. Um, oh, we've got more.
Like I think Walter missed our discussion about the owner's files. So
Oh,
I wanted to bring this up since Walter joined us. So we had
nice.
a discussion earlier where we were looking at trying to get this merged, which is Lucas's metrics change update. And when we got down to the end, we noticed that there was an owner's file here that we hadn't we hadn't expected. Like we knew about this one. I didn't realize there were owners files in some of the controllers, and these haven't been touched in like 5 years or whatever. I'm going to put up a PR to help, fix up some of these owner files so we get the current tech leads in the approvers. But I just wanted to kind of bring this up and run it across your radar, because if we want to get it merged before my change, I think you're the only one, unless you can get Andrew to take a look.
Andrew is
I guess we could
weirdly
get Bowie or Wojtek as well.
Wojciech, I think, is on vacation. Bowie might be doable. Andrew's off doing other things with LLMs. Can you ping this to one? Yeah, can you just ping this to me, Elmico, and I'll definitely take a look.
Yeah, will do.
The one thing I will say is my memory, and my memory is not as good as it used to be, but my memory was that there's been a move to use groups for the owners so that we can just fix the group and then it's fixed everywhere.
Right.
So I just, you probably already know this, but I'm just going to go with, I think that's the right way of doing it. So,
yeah,
to some degree, I think we should just have, cloud provider leads.
I do too, but I'm running into a problem here that I can't quite understand. And maybe you can help, because you've been working on the KK repo longer than I have, I think. So like we have the owners and the owners aliases here for the KK repo. And I think we would have to add like a SIG Cloud Provider tech leads or something. We don't have that in here currently. At least I think I looked the other day. Yeah, we just have like the API approvers and API reviewers. I think we might want to add something for tech leads here, because this is where I run off the rails a little bit. So these staging repos are then, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, these staging repos are then copied out. So we couldn't have an owner's alias here, but I guess we don't need it because we never accept PRs from the copied version of this. We only accept PRs here. So I guess that would make sense. Okay, yeah, I'll try to put in something for leads in the core of the Kubernetes aliases and see if people are okay with that. I don't know do they allow leads in here? Okay, so other projects have leads in here, so it shouldn't be a big deal for us then. Okay. All right,
I thought we had one, but if we don't, we don't.
I think it must be in the sigs.yaml or something like that. It's in another file. But yeah, I'll go through here and add the cloud provider tech leads, and then you're right, we can just go and put that in the owner's files, and that will make maintaining those things much easier. And maybe I'll move Andrew into the emeritus, and I'll just leave Bowie and Wojtek there as one-offs, because we could use their advice for those route and service controllers and whatnot. Okay.
All right, so that's the overall issue. And then Walter, that's the chronic issue. But for the acute issue, Walter, you're going to have Elmico send you the specific thing that we want to get into 1.37.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think we're coming up on code freeze here.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
Actually, give me 1 sec.
Is it this week or next week? I feel like code freeze is almost upon us. So
it's getting close, yeah.
It's next week. I think it's the 22nd of July.
Yeah, I think you're correct. I think it's Thursday next week. I think.
That was one
Wednesday, maybe?
Can you just
whatever that
bring
is.
that up just briefly, the PR?
Yes.
1,
I pinged it to you on
147.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
just writing like a note so I don't forget.
Yeah,
as long as we don't.
Go ahead.
As long as we don't miss code freeze. I don't want to have to put an exception in for this.
Well, this is why I wanted to bring it up. It's just adding this metric, so I think hopefully it'll be an easy review. But yeah, appreciate it, Walter.
I mean, the only thing with the metrics is always, and I'm sure everyone here is aware, but we've really got to be careful with cardinality on labels.
Yeah,
that is always the tricky thing on the metrics PRs.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I think that's it for me. I'll go back to the agenda here.
Awesome. All right, do you wanna head back to the open issues and triage issues? Thanks.
All right. Okay, I did talk to Pepe Lota about this on Slack. Um, we didn't think this was a blocker, but I think this is another one of those ones where we probably need like you know, we need someone who has, oh, this is different, sorry.
And this is a G Cloud one.
Yeah.
Is this a you thing, Walter, or is this something else?
I mean, I don't want to take responsibility for G Cloud, but it certainly sounds like a Google thing.
So this is related to the same, like we keep seeing this error over and again, this like failed to run SSH. And I think when we talked about it before, we saw a similar error on AWS. And I think, Kirthan had chased that down into the image, but it wasn't what we thought it was, I think. Do you remember that one, Kirthan?
Yeah, I mean, those are like the failed SSH ones, those happen after the test fail. So uh, that's when they try. I think the test is trying to capture some debug logs from the instance, so for debugging. I think that's when we are seeing this error. But at least the other test where we are seeing, it's mostly because of a node having some issue with networking, trying to connect to the AP server, and that's happening immediately after we install Cilium. So I'm not sure if there's some race with the Cilium installation. Reason why I'm saying it's only because Cilium is because the cluster comes up, the nodes connect to the AP server successfully. The nodes are registered. Then the pods are actually launched on the nodes, and as part of that, Cilium pods also launched on the nodes. And once the Cilium starts, that's when we see this connectivity failure between from that node to the AP server, and that fails the kubelet and other things, and that's when the tests start failing. So,
And did you say
I don't have.
Did you say it was related to Cilium, the Cilium like
Yeah,
networking?
networking thing. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, that's correct. Because it's if it would have been an instance thing, it should have been failing from the start. But the instance successfully comes up and successfully connects to the AP server. Even the Cilium connects to the AP server to get it config from the AP server, and after that, then the whole instance loses connectivity to the AP server instance. I was trying to see something like it. Cilium is writing some eBPF for some rules and some things, but I didn't understand fully. Yeah, what are the kind of rules or how to debug that Cilium thing to see why it's intermittently causing these network disruptions.
Yeah. Should we tag SIG networking on this just to get them to look at it too?
Yeah, I think that would help. I can if they're asking anything, I can provide more details there. But I think I shared that they should be able to quickly find out from the Cilium logs. But in the test, because the test has all the logs like the Cilium, kubelet, everything, and
Does anyone know? Is it SIG network, I guess?
Yeah, I think it's SIG Network.
Oh, yeah, it's network.
Still,
Sorry.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll leave it untriaged then, and hopefully SIG network will see it on their next triage. It doesn't, I guess it doesn't seem related to cloud providers, so maybe we should remove ourselves from this. I don't know. I guess we'll give
I
network.
think we're more likely to get added back. I mean, the one weird bit is G Cloud is a command line tool for making requests of the Google APIs. So it's not part of our plugin, but it does sound cloud provider specific.
Okay. Well, let's give SIG network a chance to look at it, and we'll see if there's any more comment here. Otherwise, I don't.
Yeah.
It didn't seem like a blocker to me when we looked at this bug before, but at least not from.
it's a flake. At least the one which I saw is a flake. So because I see it intermittently failing once in every 10-15 runs.
Right. And like you said, if it's networking related and it has to do around this connection of, to the API server and everything, and even if it has to do with like laying the Cilium network on there, then yeah, that I could totally see that being flaky.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. The other one, I think this is like very similar, I think. This was
the one you keep.
yeah,
So I had one of the folks I work with take a look at this. Actually, yeah, can you just hover over HTTP 617 and see if that's Way?
yeah.
Yeah, that's Way.
Okay.
Yeah, I asked Way to take a look at this. Yeah, I mean, if they think we can close it, that's great. Their basic thing was it seems to be something that intermittently shows up. It's happened on the last couple of releases, and then we determine it's non-blocking, and people think they fix it, and then it comes back. So it's not quite clear what's going on with that. But
yeah, it looks like Wade did a nice deep dive into this. Okay, well,
yeah,
I mean, I'm cool to close it if we think that's the right thing to do here.
I'm good with it. I mean, there's a chance it'll come back up again because it has on the last couple of releases, but I'm hoping Huawei has actually fixed it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, this is another one.
What
I think
else do we have in here?
this one's back from March. Doesn't appear. Okay, so we talked about it before. Okay, so this is again, we need someone with Cilium to take a look at this. So this is a similar kind of thing. Let's tag SIG network in here again. Okay, this is an old one. This is Serge's issue we talked about before about allowing, can we add the capability to set, to set specific labels? Okay, so it looks like we still haven't got a comment from someone on SIG node. So maybe we just need to ping them again or something.
Or suggest that somebody, if Serge or somebody else wants to advocate for it, somebody go to a SIG node meeting.
Okay. I don't know if I can add another SIG meeting to my schedule at the moment, but yeah, like
Well, I'm not.
maybe
I dropped the link to the SIG node stuff in the meeting in the
oh, cool.
in the chat of this. If you maybe want to just suggest to Serge to take it there.
Right, yeah. Hopefully, I know Serge is I think he's on a more Eastern European time zone.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so like hopefully he'll see this though. But yeah, I think that's a good
Okay.
put it
This might be too late in the day for him.
Yeah.
By the way, I normally attend the Signal meetings. I'm happy to take it, but I would have to familiarize myself with this issue so to be able to advocate for it.
Okay. Even if we could just take it there and kind of get a review on it. But yeah, I have to refresh myself on it, how this works. And I remember what Serge wanted, but it's like I have to cash it back in. Yeah, Daniel, why don't we follow up? Why don't we sync up offline then? Because we're gonna chat about creating issues, and that'll give me a little time to restudy this. And then if you want to, you could take it to the SIG node meeting for us.
Yeah, I'll be happy to.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, and this remove cluster directory, I think that's that's a whole nother thing. I don't think we need to do anything there. All of our stuff is gone already.
Okay.
All right, I guess might as well check this. Not again, I'm very skeptical about this test grid, but still good to check it, I guess.
Test grid is green mostly. May or may
Well,
not be
except for
lying to us.
these like SIG storage flakes. Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, it looks good to me. Like I have a feeling these failures are probably, yeah, that doesn't look related to the cloud provider.
Is that something about cluster not found?
Yeah, like I would expect the SIG storage test to fail, like based on the cloud provider not adding the label for like, because usually the cloud, that's like what the cloud provider, that's how it helps out the storage stuff, is it labels these things with like zones and whatnot that would be used for the provisioning. And again, yeah, this is another one where it's like, yeah, this doesn't even seem like related to us. But interesting enough, it is kind of related to that SSH thing we were talking.
Mhm.
I mean, getting logs on these makes me wonder. Okay, well, yeah, like I'm good to keep moving. Yeah,
All right.
I mean, I'm not even sure that in some of these clusters are they running cloud providers and whatnot. It's like which clusters are running cloud controllers and whatnot. This kind of goes into the whole notion of like how are we setting up our test infrastructure and everything. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do people have anything else they would like to talk about today? Walter.
I mean, it's just a small catch up, but last week on API Server Network Proxy, I've known for a while there's one place where we lock reads on writes. And I'd been known for a while I should decouple it. So I finally got around to decoupling it, got a small performance improvement, and found a very subtle race condition bug, which I fixed.
Ooh.
So I haven't actually, I mean, it's all checked, it's all been reviewed, checked in. I haven't created a new release of it, but if folks want, I can go ahead and cut a new release of API Server Network Proxy and get that out. I know we at Google use it. I think Microsoft uses it.
Yeah,
I'm
that would
not
be
sure if
helpful.
anyone else uses it, but
Oh, good to know. Wonderful.
the other thing I will mention, I know when we keep talking about doing releases or doing our own testing and our own distribution, I have been working quite a bit with cops, trying to create some, one, just get myself so that I'd like to be a maintainer in cops if we're going to be using it, but also I've been trying to make cops able to create a more scalable cluster. So, I will advocate there's some changes there, and definitely think. I know Cloud Provider GCP at our SIG's Cloud Provider GCP repo, we've completely torn out cube up script thing and replaced it with cops, and that's been pretty good. So I'm just going to advocate that. I think moving more in that sort of direction is a beneficial thing for us to do. I know Almiko and I have discussed this repeatedly.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. And like, if we come out of this with like a nice repeatable pattern from cloud provider GCP that says like, here's how we set up cops, and here's how you link it into to CI and everything, like that would be awesome in my book. And if it takes work on cops to get like some of our other specific platforms to the place where we need them to be so that they can run these things. That's like, in my book, that's like great work that could be done as well. So I think it's awesome what you're doing, Walter. And like, I was always like, I've been hacking a lot on the testing side of this. And I've got, a couple engineers at Red Hat that we've been working on like improving the tests and getting to this modular format. And like, we're at the point where we're like starting to write these tests now. And I have a feeling like we're going to have this great meet in the middle moment where we'll be able to take all the work that you guys have been doing with the cop stuff and start to integrate that into the other repos and then bring it together with these common tests. And like, yeah, like, I don't know, it's pretty exciting for me, I think.
Well, the other thing is, I mean, while I've been doing quite a bit on the GCP side in cops, we've got people like Cyprian and Arnaud who have been trying to make sure that, Hetzner and AWS and other cloud providers are also supported well in cops.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Yeah, and if we need to go do some reviews from the SIG's perspective in terms of like, cloud providers or whatever, or cloud controller managers and those things, like, I think that'd be great to help out there. That's really cool. Yeah, awesome to hear, Walter. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. What else, if anything, do people want to chat about before we meet again in 2 weeks? Okay. I think that's good. Thank you all for these great updates, and we will chat with you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bridget. Later, everybody.